You know, there are only two things that I don't like about Seoul. But before that, let's go on a walk here in Bucheon, and then let me first talk about things that I like about Seoul, things that I love about Seoul, and then at the end of the video I'll talk about also the things that I don't like about Seoul. Yeah, I'm in Bucheon, going on a walk, and I thought, why not talk about Seoul? It's been almost a month since we came to Seoul, South Korea. It's our first time here and we love it. And by the way, the weather here in Seoul in May, it is amazing. We love it. It's warm, but it's never too hot. A few days it has been raining, but it's okay. Overall, the month has been really good for us in Seoul. A quiet street in Bucheon. I did some thinking and came up with 8 reasons why I love Seoul, and here is the number 1. Seoul is very modern. What it means is that it is very clean, it doesn't smell on the streets, getting around in Seoul is super easy. You generally feel very nice being in Seoul, and that's a big reason to love this city. The only other city that comes close to this level and where I have been to several times is Singapore. Yeah, that's the only city that, in my opinion, comes close to the how modern is Seoul. Look, I'm on a hill and going for one hiking trail here in Bucheon. Thing number 2, convenience. If I would describe Seoul in one word, it would be convenience, and not because of all the convenience stores that you have in Seoul, there are many of them, but because of how convenient it is to live here, how good is the transportation system, how easy and cheap and clean is public transportation system, so getting around is super easy. There are shops, cafes, restaurants, there's everything everywhere. That's how you feel about Seoul. And speaking of shops, yeah, there are convenience stores everywhere. As a result, you never have to look for more than a few minutes to find a shop. Very quiet street, and I think there ahead of us will be a sharp turn to the right and a steep walk up the mountain. I have been here a few times. Yep, this is it. I think I will take stairs or... oh no, I'll take this pathway here. So thing number 2, convenience. Thing number 3, Seoul. In Seoul, you feel good not just in one, but in many places. You see, mostly in cities, there's the city center and a few other areas where you feel nice, but that's more or less it. In Seoul, however, you feel good in a lot of areas. We have been living in Bucheon here for almost a month. We have been going to Incheon, Songda, a few other places on this side of the river, and then to the city center. And everywhere you go, everywhere we have been going, we have been feeling really nice. In Seoul, even these 20, 30, 40 kilometers away from the city center, you still feel like in a big city, in a good way. You still have all the shops, cafes, restaurants, everything. You still feel great, and that's another reason to love Seoul. Reason number 3. Thing number 4. It is very safe in Seoul. You feel extremely safe in Seoul. I had heard that South Korea is a very safe country. I had heard that people leave things unattended here in public spaces and go and do what they want to do. But still it amazes me how nice it feels to be in a society like this, where in public places nothing is broken, nothing is dirty, where in public places you feel safe. When, for example, in Bucheon, here in this area where we have been living in this local area, on the road, in the area, you can walk at the pace that you are walking. You don't have to hurry just because there is a car or motorbike coming, because you always know that they will wait, because this is a residential area and it's for people to live here. That's a super cool feeling. And also when crossing the roads in Seoul, you always feel safe, unlike how you feel in many other countries around the world, especially in Asia. For example, in Vietnam, you should be careful not to be run over by a motorbike when going on the sidewalk, let alone when crossing the road. But in Seoul, you can and you feel safe everywhere. It's a very funny pathway here going to the mountain. I remember the first time when I found this place. One moment, I just remembered. I want to show you one, I don't know, a painting or a mosaic before we go up the mountain. I don't know what it represents. Fighting off the wild animals. Who knows, maybe we'll find some wild animals here. In the previous times I haven't found any here. So yeah, so that's the thing number 4. The reason number 4 to love Seoul. It is very safe in Seoul. You feel very safe in Seoul. Very interesting place. Thing number 5. Food. Food is amazing. Gimbap, kimchi, all these noodles. Lots of different types of noodles. We love them. That's it. That's another reason to love this city. The food. Amazing. Yeah, the food is amazing. Though I must say that the variety doesn't seem that big, so if you don't like it, then it must be quite hard. And also because all the other food is more expensive. It seems more expensive, yeah, than the local food. But the local food is amazing and also very affordable. Okay, so it was number 5, food. Food is amazing. 6, food culture. I have realized that I really like being in places with a strong food culture, where people go out and eat out frequently, not only on some special days or dates, where people seems to be enjoying every day and celebrating every day. In Seoul, you feel that way. In Seoul, especially in the, let's say, city center, on more active streets, you feel that very strong. But also here in Bucheon, every day, every evening, when you walk past these restaurants, you feel like it's some special day, that people are celebrating this day. That's the reason number 6, thing number 6 to love about Seoul. Look at this view of Bucheon that we have from this hill here. Thing number 7, and again it's partly related to food, the coffee culture. The coffee culture in South Korea or in Seoul, it's unbelievable. Again, I knew that South Koreans love coffee, but anyway, I didn't expect that their love is this strong. If you have been to Vietnam, you know how many cafes there are in Vietnam. Vietnamese seem to be obsessed with coffee, with their coffee, but in Seoul, I have a feeling that they are even a little bit more obsessed with coffee than Vietnamese. There are coffee shops and cafes everywhere, and you can buy coffee in many different ways. You can buy it in packs, small packs, big packs, 2-liter packs of coffee. The most interesting way that I have seen in Seoul, that I haven't seen anywhere else, is that you can buy a bag of coffee, let's say a 300 milliliter bag of Americano or latte. Then you buy a cup with ice and make your own ice Americano or iced latte. That's how you do it in Seoul, and yeah, it's very interesting. It's a thing that I didn't expect. I am amazed, and that's another thing for me to love this city. I also like coffee. The only thing that I would change is that I think these cups, they are a little bit too big for me. I don't need a half a liter of coffee. Whew. We are ascending. You can probably go also there, but I will go here because I have been here before, and I know that there will be a road going down this hill on top of Bucheon. Okay, that was number 7, coffee. Now number 8. Seoul is not expensive travel destination. It's not. Seoul actually is significantly cheaper than I was expecting it. I was reading online that it's similar as expensive for living as New York. I don't know how do they calculate these numbers, but when you think about tourists, also about longer stays like we are doing now, month and a half in South Korea, Seoul is not expensive. It's not cheap, but it's also not expensive, especially if you take into account that you are in one of the most advanced and most modern cities in the world. You have all these things, all these amenities, and what you get for your money in Seoul, it's very good. The value for money here is very good for most things, except for maybe accommodation, apartments. But anyway, it's a modern city. It's a very modern city, and yeah, prices are very reasonable. Many entrance fees to some cultural places are low, or they are for free. There is no entrance fee. Food, it's easy to buy food for under 10 euro. Good quality food. And accommodation, hotels, it's easy to find a hotel for 40, 50 euros depending on where you look, where you want to stay. So yeah, public transportation also very affordable. So yeah, Seoul is not expensive. Yep, I know this place. I have been walking here a couple of times. I have also been doing some exercising there in this workout area, outdoor workout area. And as I'm saying this, I realized that there will be not 8 but 9 things to love about Seoul, and the 9th thing, the last thing before we go to the bad stuff. The last thing is outdoor activities and how active people are. That's amazing. That's amazing how many outdoor activities are available here. All these hiking trails, all these walking path, super well maintained, all these outdoor equipment areas, well kept, clean, pleasant to use, amazing. And also people so active. Like I said in one video, the only city where I have felt similar was Rio de Janeiro. Only in Rio de Janeiro, in my experience, people are equally as active, and that's super cool. Yeah, I think that's it. I may have forgotten something, but that also could be it. So 9 things that I love about Seoul, 9 reasons I think Seoul is an amazing city. Now about bad things, about these 2 things that I can think of, 2 things that I don't like about Seoul. Thing number 1, it will be interesting for those who like good food, nice cafes, who enjoy having good food, who like to try different food when traveling. Here is the thing, in our experience so far, we haven't been to too many places, but anyway, our experience so far is that the value for money what you get in these cool cafes that are popular on Instagram or TikTok, the value is bad. It feels like the influencers are well paid, the marketing team at these places has money, but they don't really care that much about the food. For example, the popular cafe, Onion Cafe in Seoul, a very popular place. I don't know, if you pay 5, 7, 10 euros a cake and you have to eat with the single-use plastic fork and knife, I don't know. For me personally, it immediately feels like a cheap place. Or pizza there. They have, I think, 2 pizzas, maybe more, depending on when you come. But cold pizza, I feel, I don't know, when I eat a cold pizza, I feel like I'm buying it from the metro station for euro a slice or 2 euros a slice, not in a trendy cafe. Or the Thanks Nature Cafe, I think this is what it's called. They have only 2 types of food, I think, waffles and some toast. And yeah, again, if it's a 10 euro waffle with frozen blueberries, frozen fruits, again, it immediately feels like a cheap stuff for me. Or that cafe that I don't know the name of, the one where we went in our video called One Day in Seoul, the cafe where you get cake and pour colorful sauce liquid on it. There as well, the cake was 5, 6 euro maybe. Tasted like a cheap 50-cent cake. So yeah, so the feeling we get is that there are really a lot of cool and nice cafes and restaurants and eateries and food options in Seoul, but maybe these are not the trendiest ones. That's the feeling we have been getting, and now we are just going to random places and enjoying the food more than in these places that many people recommend. That's the thing number 1 about food. The value for money, what you get in trendy cafes, may not be the best. That's in short. And number 2, second thing that I don't like about Seoul, and that's the style of walking, or should I say absence of it. It feels like people in Seoul, they are walking everywhere in all directions, except for escalator. On the escalator, people are standing on the right side and letting people on the left side to pass, but in all other places it feels like people are just going in all directions, and it is crazy. I almost feel like if only people would start walking in some one way, the economy of South Korea would grow by 10-20%, just because people would be getting to jobs faster, would be less stressed out about walking. But now when you go across the road, people go in all directions, even though there are even these arrows showing on which side of the crossing you should be going on, depending from what side of the road you are coming. No one pays attention to that. And also when entering and leaving metro, people are just pushing in, even in situations when there are only a couple of people going out and a couple of people going in, they may still be pushing in, like not letting you leave the train and pushing on. Crazy. Why? I don't know, but yeah, that's the second thing that I don't like about Seoul. Here's a small bonus thing, one more thing that it doesn't really bother me, but it's not nice anyway. Spitting. People are spitting a lot, men are spitting a lot. That's the sound of Korea, as we have been joking. Yeah, spitting in public places, spitting loudly. I don't really care about it, but I understand that some may find it not pleasant, let's say. So yeah, so that's it. That's the 9, 5 and 4 things that I love about Seoul, and 2.5 things that I don't like. That's it for this video. See you soon, most likely still from Seoul.